Cute, sexy, and fun. You're watching CSF Nation's own WMK TV, Channel 90. Okay, there we go. There we go. So, some interesting news happened yesterday. YouTube has openly admitted that it was censoring certain content creators. And as I found out as of this morning, certain channels that I did used to follow have now had, certain creators that I used to follow now have their channels reinstated. What does this mean for YouTube moving forward? What does this mean for the platform moving forward? I think it's going to be very interesting to talk about. So let's get right into it. Good morning, CSF Nation. I'm Makini 90 Sherman Illustrator. Welcome you to Makini in the Morning, episode 119. It's hump day, guys. It is hump day. Hope you guys are doing well. So yeah, the big headline is YouTube has admitted to censoring content creators, and for more specifically, censoring content creators on the conservative side of the platform. I will try my best to not make this too political. However, I can't ignore. However, I'll try my best to skirt around this topic. It is a heavy topic, but it was a big thing if you followed specifically the commentary community back in like 2017, 2018 or so, at least before the whatchamacallit, the coof and the lockdowns and everything, because it did subscribe over with the lockdowns and such like that. So big warning, we are going to kind of dip into the politics side of it, because that is a factor in how these channels were basically taken off the platform for years and finally got their stuff reinstated. So we'll probably I'll probably be reacting to a video from Carl Benjamin. We'll probably react to a video from Carl Benjamin, and we'll also react to a video from Chibi Reviews, who has some more censorship hoopla is going on as well. So anyway, But yeah, so we got some people watching. I know more people will start trickling in and out. As you guys can see here, we're almost we're getting close to finishing this little commission of Thunderhair. Let me know what you guys think so far. I'm kind of going back to an older, I'm going back to an older style, actually. I'm going back to an earlier style of rendering for this one. So let me know what you guys think. And all that good stuff. And let's get right into it. You guys know exactly. You guys know exactly what you need to do to drive up the engagement and help me grow on this channel.
Hey, if you're enjoying this program, please smack that like button and make a jiggle.
And smack that subscribe button if you want to see more art content from Makini. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the show.
Later.
Smack that like button, make a jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make a jiggle. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Let's get some discussion going on this topic. Oh, and I technically forgot to play this one for Makini Live. But big thank you to everybody who showed up on the Makini Live episode on Sunday. That was a lot of fun and a lot to go over. And, well, take it away, Jellywig.
Dangerous. Let's up those numbers!
Let's up those. And I accidentally kicked myself out of the platform. Funny. Real funny. What do you think about what happened to the girls? What are you referring to? The girls are still here. What are you talking about, Penny? What are you talking about? Okay. Power, good morning to you. Gossip, good morning to you. You don't get to see that. You can see it this morning. Yeah, but you're active though. Eli, thank you for the membership. Thank you for channel membership. He's been a member for Jesus Christ. I don't know. God knows how long. You're probably next in line to be at the 3 year. You're probably next in line at the 3 year mark, but you're still probably in the 2.5 years. But anyway, Penny, good morning to you, Penny. Good Buster, good morning to you. All right, I'm not sure what to talk about. Okay, so let's get started with an article to kind of get things over. Now it's going to be it's tricky to find an article that isn't like completely biased, I guess you could say. Let's see. YouTube. But we will try our best. There's a heavy political bias on this one, guys. So just bear with me on this one. I'm going to try to find the best objective one I can, but I can't make any promises. But the big news is that YouTube has admitted to actually censoring censoring content creators for years, and it turns out that they actually censor creators on the conservative side of the platform, which, to be honest, is not really is it right, or is it really not? Is it not surprising? No, it is not surprising in the slightest. I know for a lot of people have actually noticed that. People have noticed that, or people have already seen that for a while. And I'll probably start with we'll start with Pirate Nation, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let me go ahead and set up the main. Let's go and go into the main screen, shall we? Let's go into the main screen. and then we'll react to a video from Sargon, and then we'll get into some other stuff as well. So let's go share the screen. Where am I sharing screen? Share screen and share the entire screen, baby. Okay, so share the entire screen. There we go. Okay, so this is coming from Pirate Nation on X. I still call it Twitter. Sorry, it's still going to be Twitter. It's still going to be Twitter to me, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's still going to be Twitter to me. But YouTube admits to censoring people during the COVID-19 pandemic for political reasons during Biden's administration. Now, to get some background here before we kind of read into some of before we start reading into what is what's being talked about here. So I did follow when I started kind of getting back into YouTube, when I was kind of like following the OG High Council and all the good stuff, all in the Star Wars and political and the pop culture stuff. I was following a good chunk of political channels at the time. Temple, Sargon, Computing Forever, The Quartering, you name it. It was kind of like a whole thing of like politics being a downstream from pop culture. And there was a lot of intertwining. There was a lot of interlocking here. As you guys have probably already noticed that too. It's not really that surprising. Well, in the wake of I guess it's okay to say it now. In the wake of the COVID-19 epidemic, the lockdowns where everybody was stuck in their house, stuck in their homes, and had to wear masks and shit like that, and there was so much discourse where you questioned the vaccine. If you question the vaccine, if you question the kind of the implications of everybody having to wear a mask or this, that, or the third, you would get in trouble. It was not allowed. I always kind of go back to that old. It's everybody has to stay inside until everybody can wear a mask. Apparently, the virus is immune to protest. We can go protest out in the street for a career criminal, but we have to stay inside and wear a mask. And they also censored a lot of kind of like different stories regarding the 2020 election, and even how people like making those sayings that like one side being rigged and one side being very heavily there was a heavy political bias back in 2020, to say the least. A very, very heavy political bias, and you can charter that to how we saw a lot more focus on DEI, ESG, woke, a lot of, I guess what you would also say, woke stuff. You can chart that back to the pandemic and such like that, because that seemed to be kind of like a scapegoat for one side of the party to gain much more political power. You know what I mean? Kind of using that as kind of like a way to get more, power on one side of the aisle. Well, the thing is that when people spoke out about it, especially during the, Biden administration, when people started bringing up, started questioning the vaccine, started questioning Dr. Anthony Fauci, started questioning kind of the government and implications of that, what happened was that channels were getting severely punished. And we noticed that it only happened, and people started to notice that it only happened on one side of the political aisle, specifically the conservative right-wing side of the aisle. People who were, there was a whole thing about, pushing conspiracy theories and misinformation and disinformation. It was very heavily skewed towards it. It was very heavily going on that side because, you know, the other side, the Democrat side, the left side, did take control of the Oval Office, and they got free reign to basically silence, cancel, and practically just go after, practically just dismiss and basically destroy a lot of channels, a lot of people who were pretty much questioning their motives, questioning their antics, but also basically questioning the vaccine, questioning the virus, questioning the origins, as Neurotic would say, the what was it? The unspecified virus of unknown origin at the time. And it wasn't until I noticed that it wasn't until like 2023 or so that things started to kind of lift up, that it was going okay to kind of talk about it. It was okay to kind of question it now. It was totally fine to question it now. It was very interesting about that. Well, one thing that I found, one thing that was also interesting was that when it came to the content creators, the political channels and such like that, they were not only being heavily punished, but they actually, certain channels have actually had their entire, certain creators have had their entire channels completely nuked off the platform for simply questioning, for quote unquote misinformation, disinformation, for, you know, questioning the virus, for questioning the vaccine, for questioning, you know, all of that stuff. You know, it was very interesting kind of seeing that. And these were actually some channels that I actually did follow. These were some of the channels that I actually did follow. And we're going to go into a video from Carl Benjamin Akkad Daily. You guys may know the Sargon back in the day. And there's a heavy political bias to it, okay? It's a heavy political bias, and I think we all basically know that. I think everybody and their grandmother knew that at this point. And one thing is interesting now is that YouTube has recently admitted to censoring conservative content creators, or censoring content creators during the Biden administration over COVID-19 and such like that. So we're going to read through this. I'm going to read through this specific excerpt from what was revealed yesterday. This has been all over the headlines, basically. Everybody, you've heard Clownfish talk about it. You actually heard a lot of channels talk about it too. So it's very interesting. The company terminated channels for repeatedly violating its community guidelines on elections integrity through 2023 and the COVID-19 content through 2024. Today, YouTube's community guidelines allow for a wider range of content regarding COVID-19 and elections integrity. Reflecting on the company's commitment to free expression, YouTube will provide an opportunity for all creators to rejoin the platform if the company terminated their channels for violations of COVID-19 and election integrity policies that are no longer in effect. YouTube values conservative voices on its platform and recognizes that these creators have an extensive reach and play an important role in civic discourse. The company recognizes these creators are among interviews giving viewers the chance to hear directly from politicians, celebrities, businesses, leaders, and more. And basically, yeah, as Aaron said, that yeah, they said the thing that they said wasn't happening, basically. YouTube was basically kind of, in some ways, they're kind of lying, you know. In other words, please content creators that went to Rumble, please come back. You know, didn't Zuckerberg, yeah, even Zuckerberg even admitted it a while back too on Facebook, his own platform. I expect that there probably is going to be, I see desperation in one way, but I also see I also see that them trying to shift the blame. I could see YouTube also trying to shift the blame over because, you know, they were, because let's be honest, even they were complacent in it. You saw how YouTube, and they're just still doing it now, is that they took a heavy focus on, they really pivoted towards promoting more mainstream publication, more mainstream news outlets and such like that. You guys have saw that. We have seen that, and I think it's still going on right now, that they are pushing heavily more mainstream news outlets and such like that in front of, you know, the content creators and things of that nature. And the interesting thing about that is now it seems the tides have turned, the tables have turned, because, you know, because the Orange Man is back in office. And I assume this also likely had to do with the political assassination of one Charlie Kirk as well, which it has become, which has caused major ripple effects. So yeah, if for anybody who didn't believe me that, you know, Charlie Kirk's death didn't cause major ripple effects, it did. It really did. It's crazy. It's actually very, very wishy-washy in a way, as Emerald is saying. But something I also suspect, what I also do suspect, is that there may be lawsuits lined up, especially for content creators who were unrighteously, unceremoniously banned off the platform for speaking, for questioning, you know, COVID-19 pandemic or election interference and shit like that. It sounds like YouTube is trying to pivot and, you know, hitch their wagon onto, you know, whatever political party is in power right now. In this case, it is the right wing. It is the Republicans. And I find it very interesting, because, you know, a lot of stuff that there was definitely a lot of pushback from content creators, from people were questioning YouTube all this time. They were criticizing YouTube a lot back in the day, back in like 2023 and stuff. People were not happy about this, but you know, content creators were not happy about this, basically. We're gonna this is another one here, and this is from Ian, thanks from Ian MC on Twitter. Google admits censorship under Biden, promises to end bans on YouTube accounts thousands of Americans censor for political speech. Today, thanks to the oversight of Chairman Jim Jordan, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off the platform due to political speech violations and on topics such as COVID-19 and elections as an opportunity to return on the platform. Google has also admitted to the following to the House Judiciary Committee. The Biden administration pressured Google to censor Americans, remove content that did not violate YouTube's policies. The Biden administration's censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. The debate should never have come at the expense of relying authorities. The company will never use third-party fact checkers, and Europe's censorship laws target American companies and threaten American speech, including the removal of quote-unquote lawful content. These admissions come after Jim Jordan's subpoena to Google and a years-long investigation into the company. There's a lot of irony. There is way too much irony. And of course, this is one thing Kevin Sorbo brought this up. Facebook admitted to censor anybody buying the mid told them we didn't ask questions. Yep. And yep, it's irony because, you know, Jimmy Kimmel's back on the air and he's allowed to not issue an apology. In fact, I've read kind of his monologue. He's basically doubling down on it and trying to play the crocodile tears. So he's still lying. He's still trash. He's still lying, basically. and he's not issuing an apology. So for me, Jimmy Kimmel is just nothing but a hack. A completely talentless piece of shit, honestly. Piece of a hack. So, but I find it funny. I find it funny because they were the ones crying free speech when, they were celebrating of celebrities on the opposite side of the political aisle getting censored and deplatformed all the time. I found it interesting. I find it interesting. They've been doing this, and it's like they've been doing this since like 2016 at the very least. Since the Orange Man's first presidential term, So one thing I want to go into, and we're gonna bring this up, and I thought this would be interesting. This is kind of a little deep dive into kind of what I was kind of following back in 2017, along with just kind of the pop culture stuff. So let me bring up. This is from Carl Benjamin Sargon, and this has already gotten a lot of views, and this is a very interesting topic. Listen, guys, we cannot turn this. We cannot steer away from the fact that this was a heavy political thing. So this is from Carl Benjamin. Check this out, and I'm gonna add some caveats to that. Okay.
So YouTube have just admitted that, in fact, under pressure from the Biden White House, they decided to censor not only conservatives, but people who are critical of the COVID-19 narrative and the narrative of the 2020 election. And that's really rather remarkable, isn't it? Because there are loads of people who have had their accounts removed because of political pressure and for political reasons, as well as the concerns about, medical misinformation and things like this. And this is not good enough, is it? This is something that really there should be some restitution on this. I mean, I personally was demonetized for 5 years because I made a joke. So, I mean, and you can imagine how badly that hit me. So imagine how badly it is to have your entire account taken away. So I could at least still talk to you guys. But I tell you what, loads of my friends have just had their accounts just completely waxed, and that's it. YouTube have not said or done anything until now. So this comes after House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan subpoenaed Alphabet, which is Google and YouTube's parent company, and so they sent him this letter basically admitting everything. And it's actually kind of crazy how how genuinely open and we did all the terrible stuff and we were bad, and we're not going to say sorry, but we shouldn't have done it. We're not going to do it again. It's like, okay, but doesn't this open them up to lawsuits? I'm sure there are going to be loads of people who actually could start lawsuits.
It does open up to. I can see potential lawsuits coming from this, hands down. I can see plenty of potential lawsuits, especially coming from creators who were unjustifiably yeeted off the platform for political reasons or whatsoever.
Lawsuits against them now because they've basically admitted that they shouldn't have done what they did. So they explain what Alphabet is, and they call it the company. And so Jim Jordan is, of course, advancing the core American value of freedom of expression, which is something that not just YouTube, but Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and any others, TikTok in particular, are not really that bothered about and haven't been in the very recent past. Because remember, we're only going back, let's say, 5 years, right? We're not even going back that long. A lot of this happened in 2023 and 2024. So it's just, okay, well, fair enough. Let's carry on. They talk about how the COVID-19 pandemic was an unprecedented time in which online platforms had to reach decisions about how best to balance freedom of expression with responsibility, including responsibility with respect to the moderation of user-generated contents that could cause real-world harm. Well, we haven't actually seen any of the real-world harm, really. It's hard to directly link the two together. But they say senior Biden administration officials, including White House officials, conducted repeated and sustained outreach to Alphabet and pressed the company regarding certain user-generated content related to the COVID-19 pandemic that did not violate its policies. While the company continued to develop and enforce its policies independently, Biden administration officials continued to press the company to remove non-violative user-generated content. As Alphabet grappled with these decisions, the administration officials, including President Biden, created a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of the platforms based on the concerns regarding misinformation. Now, that's true, and they did exactly the same thing to Twitter, and Twitter banned a bunch of accounts based on precisely the same reason. And it was also that with the 2020 election itself, where no matter what narrative you believe, the narrative that it was a stolen election was just roundly deplatformed. I mean, at Load Seaters, our YouTube channel got 2 strikes for discussing these discrepancies that led to Biden being the most popular president that's ever lived. So just saying, bit weird. But not only that, there have been loads of people who had their accounts taken down. I mean, for just specifically the COVID stuff, Dave Cullen's Computing Forever channel is the most egregious one I'm aware of. But there are doubtless loads.
So I want to add a caveat to this. So Dave Cullen is definitely one of the first kind of channels that I started following alongside with Tim Pool, when I kind of discovered like Tim Pool, Sargon, obviously, the Quartering, Blair White, a lot of the more political focused channels that also did pop culture and stuff like that. And that was going a lot of what was going on in, a lot was going on like pop culture and social media at the time did stem from, the TDS, the TDS that was going on. Everybody reacting to the 2016 election. It was clearly so in your face about it. It was 2016. That first term was so in your face about it. We saw it everything in pop culture and in gaming and in comics, everywhere. It was clearly came from a place of people who were simply mad about, the Orange Man not being an Orange Man being in office. An Orange Man being in office. So a lot of that, and that's kind of how I discovered there was a lot of crossover. I guess there was so much crossover going on that I did discover, Blair White. I did discover, Sargon, Computing Forever, who were talking about the OG H3. Actually, that's how I discovered Ethan Klein, because everybody making fun of what was going on with BuzzFeed and all these like social media stuff. People making fun of like SJWs at the time and shit like that, because they were saying stupid stuff, doing stupid things, and just being complete nuisances. And Computing Forever was one of those channels. Computing Forever is one of those channels, and Dave Cullen, he did cover a lot of the political side, although he's more of a tech focused channel. He mostly focuses on tech, and especially when it comes to like the future of technology and such like that. But he did focus on a lot of political stuff, and it caused him to get in trouble with not only with YouTube, but even with him, him criticizing what's been going on in his home country of Ireland. That what's been going on the political side in Ireland, that it caused him to get into a lot of trouble, for criticizing that. And of course, I follow Bearing. I still follow a couple of those channels to this day. Bearing's another one of them. But at around the time of the COVID pandemic, Dave Cullen, his Computing Forever channel was banned off of YouTube for basically covering the conspiracy surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic and all that stuff. And he for years, had to revert to just kind of keep into talking about sci-fi and pop culture on his Dave Cullen channel as well. So, but he actually got his channel reinstated. Actually earlier this morning. Actually, I think yesterday he got his channel reinstated. So that was really cool to see. So he made a whole video about that. So, but he's probably going to pivot back towards talking about technology and especially when it comes to like the future of technology and the future of AI and shit like that. And it's really good stuff. So I would definitely check out Computing Forever if you get a chance to. So good to see Dave calling back about that. Anyway, continue.
And loads of channels I just wasn't aware of and didn't watch that were talking about this, that YouTube just whacked. There's going to be a combined of millions of subscribers gone, livelihoods destroyed because of this. So that's pretty bad. So they say it's unacceptable and wrong when any government, including the Biden administration, attempts to dictate how the company moderates policy. And the company has consistently fought against those efforts on First Amendment grounds. Oh yeah, where was the legal challenge then? Where were you making the legal challenge? I don't recall seeing it. I don't recall seeing the lawsuit from Alphabet against the president or the United States government for creating a political atmosphere of censorship. I don't recall seeing that. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think you actually did do anything to quote unquote fight those against those efforts. Did you?
No.
Anyway, they then go on to YouTube and how, of course, it is the largest video watching platform. And it's a huge thing. It's a huge ecosphere. YouTube takes seriously the importance of protecting free expression and access to a range of viewpoints. Okay, but why was Stefan Molyneux deplatformed just out of nowhere for no reason?
Stefan Molyneux was another.
Why was he taken down?
Stefan Molyneux was another channel that I followed, heavy into political and philosophical conversations, and also keep in mind that this was around the time that you had people like Jordan Peterson come into prominence for defying Canada's pronoun kind of situation. He was big into that. People were really Jordan Peterson was big into that. Got really big off of that. Got very well known off of that. Stefan Molyneux, like I said, was talking about a lot of political stuff, a lot of politics, but also a lot into philosophical, such like that. It's very interesting to hear those names once again, because I used to follow a lot of those channels back in the day when everything was just kind of going awry during the Orange Man's first presidential term
under the tyranny of Susan Wojcicki. And again, the COVID stuff happened under her too. I remember that she decided she was just going to force pro-establishment COVID.
Still, rest in peace, Susan. Yes, a lot of yes. I know people a lot of people are probably still mad at Susan Wojcicki for a lot of what was going on YouTube was under her regime. A lot of stuff that was going on YouTube at the time was under her regime, but still, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Susan. It's just freaking crazy. It's absolutely crazy what was going on. And I remember people were cheering. A lot of people were cheering when Susan finally when Susan announced that she was stepping down as CEO of YouTube at the time. So hoping that would be a change in the regime and shit like that. And it's still kind of the same thing under the new leadership.
Narratives in everyone's face, which that's what you would expect, isn't it? But another thing on that as well is that they were constantly flip-flopping between narratives.
Yes,
when Fauci or the World Health Organization or whoever would come out and say it's this, and then a week later or a month later, oh no, it's that, and then a month after that, oh no, it's the other thing. YouTube's community guidelines have had to move and slalom with them.
Yes,
and people just getting taken down as the facts change. So they weren't really facts in the first place.
Yeah, they kept changing the narrative. They kept changing.
But anyway, they say that YouTube's community guidelines and terms of service apply equally to all users. I mean, that's not true, is it? Like the media, established media corporations can publish whatever they want, however violent or gory, whatever, and it's never age limited or anything like that. And Destiny and people on the left have been saying incredibly insane things for many years now, and they're still there. So I don't believe you for a start. It's obvious. We can see
a lot of stuff that has been going on. If you've been keeping up what's been going on over the years, then you do kind of find it hard to believe that YouTube was completely under the thumb of the Biden administration to just completely censor everything when they clearly had a hand in it too. And you have people getting community guideline strikes, channel strikes for, when narratives about, the COVID pandemic and stuff like that continue to change. It continued to change all over. So this is definitely some eye-opening stuff going on.
That you have had a bias against conservatives. You've had a bias against people who are critical of the narrative, dissidents, we could just say, overall. And this is on any narrative. This is why conservatives have found themselves as dissidents, because they have been critical of left-wing narratives. This is why the anti-vax guys have been deplatformed, because they were critical of the COVID vaccine. This is why, 2020 truthers have been deplatformed, because they were critical of these things. Anyone who is skeptical of the official narratives has found themselves, on the wrong end of the guidelines. And YouTube has gone, we ended the COVID-19 ones. We got rid of the discussion on the election ones. And, no, they don't say we're really sorry, actually. I'm not going to put words into their mouth. But they say, we continue to enable a diversity of perspectives and believe creators should be able to openly debate political ideas on the platform. Okay, then why not restore someone like Lauren Chen? What does she actually do wrong? She was accused of being a Russian puppet or something.
Okay, so this one's actually a very deep cut I want to get into. So you guys may not be familiar with that name, Lauren Chen. I do. I followed her channel back when it was called Roaming Millennial back in 2017 and such like that. And she really was more interested in talking about just pop culture, what's been going on in pop culture, what's going on in social media. She did pivot to more talking about politics when, she did change her channel to, from Roaming Millennial to to Lauren Chen. She had a heavy push into, she became heavy pro Orange Man at the time. And she had another venture. Her and her husband had another venture at the time called Tenet Media. Tenet Media was like a huge, a huge platform, like a multi-platform kind of thing for politics channel. And it featured the likes of Tim Pool and other political outlets, political pundits. And it got into a huge scandal where Lauren Chen and her husband was accused of being, Russian operatives because Tenet Media, and she got arrested too. Yeah. And this was right around the time of the 2024 election. Yeah, it was right around that time. And she was pregnant when she got arrested too. Yeah, that was crazy. And her channel was completely yeeted off the platform. Now, the recent news is that she has returned. She is back, but we don't know if her channel is back or such like that. But I assume in due time, she will kind of explain what went down with the whole Tenet Media situation, because that was a big situation too. That was a big situation. That was a huge talking point. It was freaking crazy though. But yeah. So hearing that name, Lauren Chen, is very familiar.
The FBI have closed the investigation into her. So is she? If you're closing the investigation, then it seems that she's not, right? She hasn't committed a crime. She's not done espionage or whatever. I don't even know what they were accusing of, but she's not done whatever she's been accused of, and yet her channel's still gone. So for political reasons, she's gone. She can't debate the political ideas on the platform. She had 500,000 followers or something. Does she get her channel back? Notice how I've got loads of friends I can just reel off who have had their channels tanked. I mean, like I said, I got demonetized for 5 years over a joke as well. So it's not like I haven't paid my price in all of this too. So it's weird how me and a bunch of my friends have been through these fires, and I'm the one left standing going, okay, but I would like all of these people back. And if I'm forgetting, that you you had a big channel and you're, a friend of mine, and I'm not mentioned you, I'm sorry. I want everyone back. I want everyone back. Like Gavin McGuinness is another one. Nick Fuentes and all those types.
I forgot what the name of that Canadian outlet was. I think it was Rebel News. Rebel News is how I discovered Gavin McInnes and a lot of the group from there. Tommy Robinson too. Rebel News, which that was a Rebel News was more into Canadian politics and shit like that going on, and that's how I discovered Gavin McInnes, shit like that. Of course, we all know what happened with Gavin McInnes, had the freaking Proud Boy shit, and that's when I think the moment he more got involved with his kind of like the group, the Proud Boys, shit like that, was the moment I immediately distanced myself from those kind of politics, those kind of political channels, because that was heavy, very heavy into political fights and shit like that, especially on the streets and shit. And also Gavin McInnes, I'm not a fan of at all. Actually, I'm not a fan of at all, especially the major crash out he had on FNT on Friday Night Tights a couple years back. So yeah, very interesting about that. So, but yeah, I guess but you know what? Does he deserve to have his channel reinstated? Of course, obviously.
Alex Jones, InfoWars. Like, there are so many who got their channels taken down.
I don't think Alex Jones needs no introduction, but it's also said that also heard that he's having a massive crash out too, a major crash out as well, and he's still having to reel from what he was saying about the whole Sandy Hook situation too. And also, that's just kind of funny thing, because I remember how Nerdrotic was reported by a couple of Nerdrotic was reported. I forgot who reported him. I think was it Actman? I forgot who reported. Some big channels reported Nerdrotic to try to get Nerdrotic deplatformed for hosting Alex Jones twice on Friday Night Tights. Very interesting stuff, to say the least.
For being mean, or for criticizing narratives that were the official establishment narrative. Like this, it was like genuinely like a moral panic that got Alex Jones taken down as well.
Oh yeah,
totally unfair, totally uncalled for. Why isn't he restored? He should be restored. They say no matter the political atmosphere, YouTube will continue to enable free expression on its platform. But that's
and another political pundit who seemed to kind of survive the storm was Paul Joseph Watson too. So imagine my shot guy, yeah. He seemed to kind of weather the storm. I remember Lauren Southern kind of weathered the storm, but she got into major controversy. Lauren Southern got into major controversial shit over the time, especially with her kind of like filming kind of like the immigration stuff as well. It's very interesting.
Problem. Alex Jones in particular, his deplatforming, and same with Stefan Molyneux as well, was in the grip of a moral panic amongst the Twitterati.
Yeah, there was
and now that Twitter is not a left-wing platform, I'm not saying
no. So also keep in mind, remember that Twitter had an involvement in it because Twitter was under Jack Dorsey, and there was a heavy moral panic going on Twitter at the time before Elon Musk took over.
Right-wing platform. I think Elon is actually allowing a broad range of opinion on it, a very broad range of opinion in some cases. Now that that's not the case, are these people all getting their channels back? Why shouldn't Alex Jones get his channel back? Why shouldn't Stefan Molyneux? Why shouldn't Gavin McInnes? Why shouldn't Lauren Chen? Why shouldn't all of these people, again, all of these people I'm friends with, why shouldn't they get their channels back? Of course they should. Of course they should. And to be honest with you, they're probably entitled to some sort of compensation, aren't they? If you're admitting fault here, can they? I'm not a legal expert, so I don't know. But maybe some lawyer channels are like, well, hang on a second, guys. You may have opened yourself up to liability here. Anyway, they carry on. And it's nothing terribly interesting until the end part here. YouTube values conservative voices on its platform and recognizes that these creators have extensive reach and play an important role in civic discourse. The company recognizes these creators are among those shaping today's online consumption, landing must-watch interviews, giving viewers the chance to hear directly from politicians, celebrities, business leaders, and more. Well, I mean, it hasn't felt like that for many a year now. I wasn't even conservative back then, but like, I guess as a conservative content creator, a conservative voice on the platform, I've got to admit, it really hasn't felt that way. It's really felt actually like we were living under the sword of Damocles, and the horsehair that was attaching it to the ceiling was getting thinner and thinner and fraying apart more and more, with each one of us that shunk was taken out by the sword, right? It didn't feel for a second like you did, and I really have trouble believing that's the case now. I think it's just that because Trump's in charge, you're like, okay, Trump might do something crazy. Like, right. God only knows what his intention and regulation or whatever it might be that he does. So maybe we'll just play ball. We actually don't want to get in any further trouble with the Trump administration. I mean, what's his face? Jim Jordan is currently leading the witch hunt and the Inquisition into them, which again, Godspeed, keep going. Maybe they're just, obviously they're like, yeah, we just want to play ball, because of course now they go onto the regulatory landscape and they're like, yeah, well, we're for completely unlimited free speech. That wild west of the internet, well, we enjoyed that. We'd like to go back to that. And to be honest with you, I'd love to go back to that, frankly. I miss the wild west of the internet. It was so much more fun. Like YouTube in like 2013, 2014 was just banging. It was just so good.
And I think it was the case where it's just like a lot of people missed, even me, I missed I kind of missed that wild west side of the internet a bit, and especially on YouTube. I was a gaming channel back in like 2015 though, so I can't really say much. But and I didn't have a YouTube channel in 2014 either. So, but yeah, a lot of people do miss kind of that early YouTube where it was more broadcast yourself, where it was more, pushing, was more pushing out, the creators, the people who actually made the platform, where it was more, as Sargon says, as Carl says, much more open, much more of a Wild West kind of phase though. And it does make me wonder, it actually does make me wonder. And I'm going to pass it off to the channel, to you guys in the channel. I'm serious. I'm passing it off to you guys. Actually, I'm going to make I'm going to make a poll. I'm going to make a poll. And I'm just going to ask you guys just one little question. Something that you guys, something that maybe you guys would believe or not. But I would like to hear from you guys. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to turn the music up, but I'm gonna make a little poll real quick.
Face towards the stars. Feel my beating heart all up in my zone. Well, let this go. Touch your ones that go numb. Heartbeats like a drum. Feel your fantasy. Give us underneath. Stay in this moment. Just hold on, hold on. We got tonight, babe. Tomorrow is gone. You and the moonlight. It's all that I want. It's all that I want. It's all. We can touch the sky, babe. It's a natural high. I know I'm alright when I look into your eyes. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give it to me. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give it to me, yeah. We can touch the sky, babe. It's a natural high. I know I'm alright when I look into your eyes. Yeah. Give it
Okay, just something I thought about. Just something to think about. If my channel existed back before, 2014, 2016, what would you guys would have thought? Would you guys would have thought I would have been likely a bigger than I am now? Would you guys would have think I probably would have been much more controversial back then? Would have been just probably about the same as you were, or would I would have likely been a much more smaller creator back in like before 2016? It's just something to think about, something to always think about. Sometimes I think about that, especially during the wake of, Disney Star Wars and such like that, when everybody was talking about The Last Jedi, and I did make what if I made my channel back those days? Would I probably would have blown up more? It would be interesting,
Anyway, the point being,
just a thought.
On the plus side, we as the right can take this as a massive win, right? What we should be doing now is @ing Team YouTube on Twitter and asking them to restore your favorite content creator who is deplatformed. I think it's just raise enough noise and get them back. Like I tweeted at Elon Musk the other day. Gavin McGinnis is still banned. Why? He's really not very extreme considering where the political environment is at the moment. Could he be restored? And Elon replies to me and goes, "Oh, what was that?" And boom, within a day, he's back, and now he's back tweeting. Why shouldn't he be back on YouTube? Why shouldn't he? If Sam hides on YouTube, and he should be.
That's the thing. A lot of the more extreme controversial channels back in the day would likely, now that we're under a different regime, they probably would have been, their takes would probably be much more, it probably much more aligned with a lot of other people feeling at the time, a lot of other people. So why not restore those channels again? You know what I mean? YouTube, please restore my favorite Filthy Frank videos. So many, it's not just political stuff, but a lot of channels, a lot of videos were yeeted off of the platform. A lot of videos were yeeted off the platform for undisclosed reasons, for one reason or another. So I think some of the videos need to be reinstated too.
Gavin McGinnis should be on YouTube. Like all of our friends should be back on YouTube. And so I think the best thing to do is to tweet at Team YouTube and say, look, I miss this person. This is their channel. Please restore it. I was a big fan. And maybe, just maybe, we can turn the clock back and get the gang back together.
It's interesting. It's interesting to say the least, man. It is very, very interesting to say the least. Yeah, now I wonder, are other channels gonna announce, oh, so-and-so channel that was like heavy controversial, now they're back on the platform again and they're gonna make more stuff again? Are we gonna see more of that? I'm probably likely, because with Computing Forever returning, we'll probably see more controversial channels like that coming back, more people who were questioning the vaccine and shit like that, the Biden administration. I would be very interested to see how YouTube is going to be moving forward now that we're under a different regime, under a different administration, in that everything is seen to be swinging towards the other side. The pendulum is swinging towards the other side, in which which will always be a worry for me, because I want the pendulum to swing down the middle instead of completely go over to the other extreme. Are we going to see? It's going to be interesting to kind of see how YouTube moving forward as a platform, how that's going to operate. Is their tune going to change when, say, if another side of the aisle gets back into power? Is their tune going to change? It'll be interesting to kind of see all of that unfold. Emerald says, I wonder if iDubbbz would have stayed the way he was and never yeeted those channels. I wonder if iDubbbz would have stayed the way he was if he never met Anissa. I'm sorry, he's he's such a pathetic excuse of a human being at this point. And I'm like, this is iDubbbz? this is I can't even call him iDubbbz anymore. I call him Anissa's wife's husband, you know? Like, that's how pathetic he is, honestly. It's just really pathetic. And it all came down to, you know, him making that content cop on Ethan Klein and simping for Hamas Piker. Come on. Besides, Hassan is just like it's just getting more comfort, and that's going to be something interesting. Are they actually going to go out of their way and actually get Hassan to be banned off of like Twitch or get arrested in the same way that they got Destiny demonetized permanent? Destiny has been demonetized for 90 days, although they're trying to get Destiny completely yeeted off YouTube for good, though. Because he's gotten away, because, you know, people like him and Hassan have gotten away with so much crap. They've gotten away with saying so much things that were arguably even more controversial than what we saw back in the day, 2017, back in the day and such like that. But they've gotten away with so much, especially on their own designated platforms, that yeah, now that there's a push to try to get more, to get Hassan, people like Hassan and people like Destiny off of the platform and shit like that. And my stance to this is that if any case that Hassan tries to, like, I know for a certain fact that, say if Hassan moved to streaming full time on YouTube the way he does on Twitch, I can tell you this right now. You say what you will about YouTube, but YouTube is a completely different animal, and we will eat him alive. Hassan would be eaten alive on YouTube because of the shit that he puts on like his Twitch and stuff like that. It don't fly here. There's a lot more eyes on him, and there's been so many people ripping him to shreds. So him coming to YouTube would be just a continuous stream of content for especially a lot of the slop tubers, a lot of the bread tubers and stuff like that. It will be a continuous slab of content, because everything that comes out of his mouth is worth eyeing under a microscope, I guess you could say. You know, same with Destiny. And I think also not only that, if Hamas Piker comes to goes full-time streaming on YouTube, if he gets banned off of Twitch, he's going to be put right front and center in the crosshairs of Ethan Klein, who is already in a lawsuit with Hassan's orbiters, Frogan, Caseytron, and Denims. So it's very interesting. Oh yeah, he would get ratioed and ridiculed endlessly. It will be just an endless stream of content, basically. Yeah. It would be crazy, man. It would be crazy. But Hassan would be put right in the crosshairs of Ethan. Because you know that lawsuits that he's in, the lawsuits he's in right now, it's just building it up. He's building up. He's going after Hassan next. And I wouldn't be surprised if not. And not only would Hassan be in the crosshairs of Ethan, but he would also be in the crosshairs of people like Nux Taku, who he's been, Hassan has slandered Nux and Tectone and shit like that for years. So that would put him in the freaking crosshairs, man. It would be Cricket Rumble, not YouTube. Yeah, he's probably aware that he would be ripped to shreds. There's already somebody already put like a full compilation of everything Hassan has said and all the vile stuff Hassan has said that would have gotten him banned off the platform. If anybody else saying that, it would have got him banned off the platform. So it's very interesting to say the least. But yeah, that was something I wanted to more Pegasus sense of society. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's I'm gonna tell you something. More Pegasus series is so entertaining. It is some of the most irritating shit. And it all started with iDubbbz's content cop on Ethan Klein, bro. It's amazing how like Hassan's like every one of Hassan's orbiters, like if you're a Hassan orbiter or you support Hassan in any way, your career is likely over. Your career is likely over though. It's funny. And I think same goes for Destiny too, because Destiny was demonetized for 90 days, especially when he was saying that, you know, conservatives need to be afraid of their lives, afraid of getting shot and shit like that. It's crazy. And then, well, he also got into, I don't know if he got into trouble for it, but he got serious push blowback for the for calling the Charlie Kirk Memorial a large bad guy from WW2 rally. I don't know if I could say the word. I don't know if I could say the word Nazi rally. Well, I could probably say, but he did criticize. But he called the Charlie Kirk Memorial on Sunday a giant Nazi rally, especially when Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, got on stage, and she actually forgave the assassin, which was actually very powerful. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that. Sorry, wanted to bring that up. Anyway, let's get back into our realm. Okay, let's get the F away out of politics and get back into our realm with some more censorship. Now, this is coming from Chibi Reviews. I will put a link to the full video. Check this out. They're coming hard for anime and manga, guys. I'm going to still cover this because this censorship stuff is very, very important. So this is coming from Chibi Reviews. Check this out. Let me go switch over to, thank you guys so much.
In the last 24 hours, a lot of insane news has come out, to Google admitting that they were silencing content creators and Americans on YouTube, and then went out of their way to say that they want to commit to actually reinstating and uncensoring the content creators that they hurt many, many years ago, to also having Michigan introduce a law called HB 4938 that would pretty much fine you for using VPNs. Any adult content is completely restricted, AI, ASMR, manga, and even depictions of trans people, and then also you'll have 24/7 surveillance of all internet traffic. Obviously, this is very draconic. This is a crazy bill. I personally don't think this is going to pass, but it is still very important to bring attention to. But before we get into this one, I do think that we need to talk about the whole situation with Google and YouTube censoring content creators, because obviously I'm a content creator. I'm someone that uses YouTube to make a living. I make videos on this platform. So I think it's pretty important to discuss stuff like this, especially bring attention to it for those that are completely unaware, especially when YouTube and Google have admitted that they want to reinstate channels that have been harmed by their actions over the years. So let's get into what this actually is. So this is Legal Mindset. He is an individual that is very well known in the content creator space. He is a lawyer, and you might recognize him from big content creators talking about him in the past, especially with the Roblox situation as of late. Like, I believe Asmongold has mentioned Legal Mindset. I know Charlie Most Critical has mentioned Legal Mindset. He's very well known, and I think a lot of people that watch these different content creators are going to instantly recognize him. So when he comments on this situation, you know for a fact it's legitimate. It's not a lie. It's not misinformation. It's being truthful. And I think that it's very important to note that there has been censorship on the platform for a very long time. And I think a lot of us have been very well aware of censorship on YouTube. I mean, you have random algorithm shifts, you have shadow bans of comment section, you have people that randomly are doing very well and suddenly they just completely drop off out of the algorithm in a way that seems like YouTube is silencing them. I mean, let's think about the whole Real ID age verification conversation that was happening about a month ago. Anyone that that started talking about that, their entire channel started to do very poorly, or in this case, a lot of their videos didn't do as well after that. It was very apparent there was something going on behind the scenes. And then when you have the recent controversy with the whole viewership drop with restricted mode, and a lot of content creators, even like Josh Strive, having to make a whole video discussing what's going on, you know, it's a pretty big deal. YouTube and Google is very well known for censoring content and removing people for arbitrary reasons. So I don't think this really comes as any surprise when we find out something like this. However, what is the biggest surprise about this entire situation is that Google and YouTube admitted to censoring content creators. And so let's actually read what was said here where we can kind of get the whole picture. Google admits censorship under Biden, promises to end bans of YouTube accounts of thousands of Americans censored for political speech. Washington, D.C. Today, thanks to the oversight of Chairman Jim Jordan, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations on topics such as COVID-19 and elections an opportunity to the platform. Now, I do want to outline that this is only the stuff they admitted to censoring. There could be a list of other things that Google and YouTube are not even outlining here that are just left in the void that we'll probably never know about. But the fact that they censor one or two topics does mean that they could censor other things that we're completely unaware of. It, you know, actually breeds suspicion on what other things that we're completely unaware of that has been removed from the conversation table on these platforms. The Biden administration pressured Google to censor Americans and remove content that did not violate YouTube's policies. That's a pretty big deal. Basically, you have the government, the United States government, go around YouTube's policies and force content removal to censor it despite them not breaking the TOS. That's actually insane. That is crazy, because that means that it's so arbitrary. You have the government that can pick and choose what is censored and what is not. If they want you gone, you're gone. End of discussion. And I think that is very scary. And there is some serious implications of that is probably hurt so many content creators that might not have even discussed stuff that, you know, Google and YouTube are even admitting in this statement. The Biden administration censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. Public debate should never come at the expense of relying authorities. The company will never use third-party fact checkers. Europe's censorship laws target American companies and threaten American speech, including the removal of lawful content. These major admissions come after Chairman Jordan's subpoena to Google, a year-long investigation into the company. Now, if you don't know who Jim Jordan is, basically, this is the individual right here, and he has been making statements on this for a while, and it dates back basically to November 30th, 2023, where he talks about the YouTube files and how, you know, the White House was censoring content for Americans. This is a long time ago, as you can see. It was a few years back. So it's definitely something that's been actively ongoing investigation, and finally we're getting information about it. But let's get into the statement today that I think is very important. So with Jim Jordan, he made a follow-up today with all this information coming out. And you have Google actually outline kind of the stuff that happened or what was changed and stuff. And I think this one is a pretty big deal here I want to read. The COVID-19 pandemic was an unprecedented time in which online platforms had to reach decisions about how best to balance freedom of expression with responsibility, including responsibility with respect to the moderation of user-generated content that could result in real-world harm. Senior Biden administration officials, including White House officials, conducted repeated and sustained outreach to Alphabet, aka Google, and pressured the company regarding certain user-generated content related to the COVID-19 pandemic that did not violate its policies. While the company continued to develop and enforce its policies independently, Biden administration officials continued to press the company to remove non-volatile user-generated content. As online platforms, including Alphabet, aka Google, grappled with these decisions, the administrative officials, including President Biden, created a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of platforms based on their concerns regarding misinformation. It is unacceptable and wrong when any government, including the Biden administration, attempts to dictate how the company moderates content, and the company has consistently fought against those efforts on First Amendment grounds. No matter the political atmosphere, YouTube will continue to enable free expression on its platform, particularly as it relates to issues subjected to political debate. Political debate and discussions are in the public's interest, which is why YouTube's expanded its approach to educational, documentary, scientific, and artistic content on the platform. In contrast to other platforms, YouTube has not operated a fact-checking program that identifies and compensates fact-checking partners to produce content to support moderation. YouTube has not and will not empower fact-checkers to take action or on or label content across the company's services. YouTube also began offering a feature on YouTube beginning in June 2024 that allows users to add notes to provide relevant, timely, and understandable context on videos. The pilot is available on mobile in the US and in English, and YouTube continues to collect feedback on the feature. YouTube also features an extensive comment section where viewers can comment and share their views on content posted by creators. Even though they say this type of stuff, by the way, they effectively have it to where you can no longer see dislikes and stuff. And we've all talked about this. Many content creators have talked about this. But the reason why dislikes were removed is because it was to protect these big companies from looking bad. So I do not like how sus or shady or two-faced Google and YouTube is being right here, because they're lying through their teeth. We know for a fact that they have been actively censoring content creators and stuff for a very long time, to how you're able to remove comments entirely on videos, to how dislikes are completely hidden just to protect big content creators or big companies within Hollywood and stuff, or political officials. It's very obvious that this is just a straight up lie, and YouTube has been censoring stuff for a very long time. That's not even getting into like the whole restricted mode on content that people are completely unaware of unless they go out of the way and find out about this information. So yeah, this is just straight up lies from YouTube. Anyways, the company terminated channels for repeatedly violating its community guidelines on election integrity content through 2023 and COVID-19 content through 2024. Today, YouTube's community guidelines allow for a wider range of content regarding COVID-19 and election integrity. Reflecting the company's commitment to free expression, YouTube will provide an opportunity for all creators to rejoin the...
One second. Sorry. Shout out to everybody in the raid. Sorry about that. Shout out to everybody in the Loki raid. Thank you guys so much. We're covering the censorship topic, especially with YouTube and shit like that. And so I just want to give it just a quick hello. Let me just make a quick hello to everybody real quick. Let me just make a quick hello to, let me say hi to Keely, Argo, Crossick, good to see you. Seth, good to see you. And I think that's about it. That's about it. Thank you. Thank you, Raiders. Really appreciate that. And of course, to Daryl, let me go play the obligatory.
My nigga.
All right. Good to see you guys. Let's go put
the platform if the company's terminated their channels for repeated violations of COVID-19 and election integrity policies that are no longer in effect. YouTube values conservative voices on its platform and recognizes that these creators have extensive reach and play an important role in civic discourse. The company recognizes these creators are among those shaping today's online consumption, landing must-watch interviews, giving viewers the chance to hear directly from politicians, celebrities, business leaders, and more. So more or less, to summarize 24 here, Google is like, okay, the reason why we're doing this changes is because obviously it's what's going on a certain political party is not good, especially what happened to a recent individual. So it's very obvious that Google is more or less just changing sides because it suits them better. They're, turning coat, putting on a different mask, different outfit, because once again, there's more money to be made with siding with this side now than the other side. That's more or less what's going on. Google and YouTube isn't really on your side. They will change at the drop of a dime if it means that they can make more money and look better to the actual public. But then we have this. The committee has taken important investigation steps to highlight the obligations under laws such as the Digital Service Act and Digital Market Act, may stifle innovation and restrict access to information. These laws place a disproportionate regulatory burden on American companies. Now, they're talking about, I'm assuming, the UK, what's going on in Europe, and also UK. And the company has long expressed its concern about the risk that the DSA may pose to freedom of expression within and outside of the European Union, depending on how certain provisions may be enforced. The DSA could be interpreted in such a way as to require Alphabet and other providers of intermediate services to remove lawful content, jeopardizing the...
Penny, okay, Penny, I get it. If you're a drawing man, then watch Reddit, then I'm talking. How about this? Penny, I'll switch over to the main camera and then just have this play in the background, okay? We'll just have it listen. We'll just listen in, okay? We'll just listen in.
to develop and enforce global policies that support rights to free expression and access to information. The DSA may open avenues for substantive regulation of lawful speech, including through risk mitigation, the use of codes of conduct and crisis protocols, and the out-of-court dispute settlement mechanism. Alphabet remains mindful of these risks and continues to be vigilant in its defense of these rights. So, to basically summarize this big word salad of number 27 here from Google itself, they more or less are saying they are against what's going on with in Europe and also in UK. They don't like how these governments are forcing censorship of political speech, free speech, and all that, and trying to remove videos and content from other American companies. Google pretty much makes a hardline stance saying they are against it. And I'm going to say good for them. However, I'm going to once again reinstate this. The only reason why Google is actually doing this is because they were subpoenaed. They had literally a subpoena against them thanks to Jim Jordan.
Listen, at this point, just take everything Google said with a grain of salt. Okay, let's just take everything Google said with a grain of salt at this point, because they're only doing this because they're being subpoenaed right now, and that's why they're just coming clean about it. Even though they still have a lot of cards they're holding close to their they're still holding a lot of cards close to their hand, basically. So, like I said, take with everything that Google and YouTube are saying right now in regards to the censorship stuff, take what they said with a grain of salt. Very important, guys. I can't stress that out enough. Take that with a grain of salt.
Requesting them to give over this information. So I don't think Google or YouTube would have ever admitted this if it was not thanks to this going on behind the scenes. So I do want to keep that in mind, that what they're trying to say sounds good, but in reality, Google and YouTube don't really care. They're just in it for how much money they can get and what side is the better winner in this case. Yeah. And that's exactly what is going on right now. But yes, at the very least, publicly right now, YouTube and Google is saying that they are against what's going on in the EU and also against what's going on in UK. So that is a good situation, honestly, all things considered. So with all that being said, let's actually get into what this overall means. First off, I do think that in general, this is good news that Google and YouTube admitted it, but it now brings a level or an atmosphere, so to speak, that there is probably more content that we're completely unaware of that Google and YouTube has silenced and censored. Definitely, 100%. If they can do this, then they have done it in the past. They've already been doing it. And I think that there definitely needs to be an investigation continued with this because it's unacceptable, especially when you have governments intervening in this and basically forcing Google to spread propaganda or certain things on their platform, which is kind of messed up, especially when they're censoring one side.
Oh, snap. Oh, so Elizabeth was hit. I didn't realize you were hit with that, Elizabeth. I'm sorry. Well, okay, so if you caught... Okay, so if you caught the earlier part of today's show, we did cover a video from Carl Benjamin Sargon, and one of the channels that got their one of the content creators that got their channels reinstated was Dave Cullen, Computing Forever, a heavy political and tech focused channel. I still think it would be worth a shot, Elizabeth, to reach out to them. Especially reach out to Team YouTube and see if you can get your channel reinstated, to get your videos reinstated too. It's worth a shot. But I did not know about that, Elizabeth. I'm sorry to hear that.
I think this is really bad. I think that just seeing everything tied together with, what's been going on in the last few months with all the censorship to gaming, artistic freedom, freedom of expression, all that is kind of wild. It's like, these last few months have just been crazy, dude. It's just one thing back to back. If it's not like collective shout and activist groups doing something to Steam and Itch or payment processors or DSA within Europe, to having the UK Kids Online Safety Act or the actual Online Safety Act within the United States, and then multiple states passing these different draconic laws or trying to pass these draconic laws to censor the internet. It's just ridiculous, man. There is an attack on all fronts on the internet, and it's scary. Like, this is honestly some headline news that is kind of crazy to me that not a lot of people are talking about. Like, this is a big deal. Like, this is an extremely big deal. And I know a lot of people might not care about politics or anything like that. I fully understand that. But why this is so important is that this is freedom of expression and viewpoints. And if Google can censor this, if YouTube can censor this, the line doesn't stop there. It will trickle down and get further and further. It's the same situation with gaming and adult tags that are getting banned on Steam and itch and stuff. If you allow censorship to happen and you allow these governments to intervene and take your rights away from speaking certain things, then it will trickle down to eventually stuff you truly do care about. That is why I think it's very important to shine a light on this and talk about this, because it is very important. This is more important than anything else I can really talk about, because this affects everyone. This affects expression within speech, art, shows, everything. It's not good. This is not good whatsoever. So I'm glad to see more conversation around this, and there needs to be more conversation around it. I hope big content creators actually talk about this, and with Legal Mindset covering this, I want to bet you probably Charlie, aka Most Critical, and Asmongold eventually will probably cover this topic. Now let's segue over into the Michigan stuff. So this Michigan stuff is wild, to say the least. This is the bill right here, House Bill number 4938. And if you scroll down here, you can actually see where they mention the bans of stuff right here. They literally talk about sound clips, live feeds, artificial, stories, magazines, erotica. They talk about manga. So yeah, this is not misinformation. This bill legitimately is trying to outlaw VPNs. It's trying to outlaw manga. It's trying to outlaw fan service within anime and manga. ASMR videos in general, which is crazy. It is so draconic that this bill that was introduced, the Michigan bill proposed, that I'm just like, this is actually insane. And this isn't the first time we've seen one of these bills already enter into these different states. I mean, New York City has one, obviously Texas, I know Florida does, Tennessee, a bunch of different states. I think there is less states that have these bills introduced than states that do have them introduced or trying to get passed. So this is some pretty scary stuff. This is continued progression of censorship. So on one hand, you have YouTube or Google trying to do the right thing, but on the other hand, we have behind the scenes many different states introducing these laws, trying to neuter and destroy the internet, which is not good. So yeah, keep this in mind. If my recommendation, if you live in Michigan, contact your local representative. Talk about how you are against this. You don't like what's going on here. It's completely unacceptable to outlaw and ban stuff like this. This is ridiculous. Just obviously that's the only way to really counter this. Contact your local representative, contact your local senator, because that is the only way to bring attention to this and potentially stop it. But if you want my 2 cents, I doubt this is going to pass. I really doubt. And the reason why, it is way too ridiculous, way too crazy, way too draconic. I would be absolutely shocked and horrified if this actually passed. If it did pass, it would be instantly challenged by the...
I don't know. I honestly don't know. We've seen a lot of ridiculous bills get passed through Congress anyway. So proceed with caution, guys. Proceed with caution. Anything, let's put it this way. Whatever they say to you, believe them, because this might get through. As ridiculous as this bill sounds, it might still get through though, because they'll try to because what we've seen with a lot of bills and what we've seen with a lot of stuff recently is the Trojan horse method does work. They will try to Trojan horse it regardless, like claiming it's for the kids when it never really was for the kids in the first place. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Too much overreach. Oh yeah.
Supreme Court and stuff. I do not see something like this ever officially causing people to go to jail or fining and stuff. But regardless, the fact that it's within the House or trying to get passed, so to speak, I think is a pretty big deal. I will leave it at that, though. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. It does help me out a lot. Leave a comment. Helps with the algorithm. Chibi out.
Yeah, so they are... Oh, what's this?
のタイトルアップデート
Oh, hey-o!
第4弾でも別途エンドコンテンツの拡充を予定しております。タイトルアップデートは2025年
Let's just peek in. Let's just take a little peek into what's going on with.
本日は新たな映像をご覧ください。
Let's take a look at what's going on with Capcom here. So this is Capcom's Tokyo Game Show. Let's see what we got.
タイトルアップデート第4弾では追加モンスターとしてゴグマジオスが登場します。2025年12月の配信を目指して開発進行中ですので、今後の情報をお待ちください。続いてはモンスターハンターストーリーズ3運命の総流の情報です。まずはこちらの最新映像をご覧ください。
Twin monsters
You
are
guys-
the
okay,
portent of
okay.
disaster. Should you
Okay.
wish to approach this omen,
Okay, show of hands. Say a show of hands. Would you guys want us to cover the Ananta trailer a little bit? Just do a little deep dive into the Ananta trailer. Yes, I have seen it. Yes, it looks good. Yes, it looks too good to be true. Let's put it that way. I know we have Sony's state of play today as well. I might call sick. I might take you know what? I might take a mental health day. I might take a mental health day today to cover to do a peak gaming where we cover Sony's state of play. I might do that. I might take a sick day today. But your thoughts on Ananta? My thoughts on Ananta. It looks too good to be true. Let's just start with that. It looks too good to be true. Everything from whatever I'm seeing, it looks very promising, especially when they announced that the only gacha that they're gonna have is only of costumes. So all characters will be included. All future characters will be included, and the only gacha will be in outfits, basically. But I'm very interested. It's a mixture of like Spider-Man meets Watch Dogs meets GTA meets Sleeping Dogs meets Sifu. It's very ambitious to say the least. Okay, it is very, very ambitious to say the least. Hey Tom, it's good to see you. It is incredibly ambitious. But the question is, how well is it gonna do though? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to take you want to watch the some month? Oh, you got a point there. I was like, maybe take a day off. Maybe take a day off just to watch the state of play today. Maybe we could do we'll do like a peak gaming special. You know, we'll do a peak gaming special. We'll watch state of play. Maybe do some. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. I might call in sick today just to cover the state of play. I'm probably overdue for a mental health day anyway. I'm probably overdue for a mental health day anyway, but we might do that later. So I'm down for it. Or yeah, we could probably do. We could probably cover the Resident Evil collab in Nikkei. By the way, it just dropped. It just dropped. And what's her name? Ada Wong is the first banner, and I'm just gonna wait until Jill. I'm just gonna wait for Jill, honestly, and especially when they have Jill's suit in RE5 as a battle pass costume. I saw a link on Steam. Not really. Oh, you're referring to Ananta? Yeah. It's very ambitious as an open like let's cram with Ananta. It's like let's cram every open world. Let's cram every open world idea and let's take every open world idea from like GTA, from like Sleeping Dogs to Watch Dogs. Let's take all of those ideas and let's throw it on let's throw it at a dartboard and see what sticks. Let's throw it all at the dartboard and just kind of amalgam something together. It looks ambitious. It looks too good to be true, and it does look better than Neverness to Everness. So I will keep a close eye on it. But people are excited. However, you know, like I said, it's ambitious, and it has a lot more potential to fall flat on its face. Like, and keep in mind, this is the same team behind Tower Fantasy. And Tower Fantasy was supposed to be this major, like, Genshin Impact killer, and it was none of that. It just fell flat on its face entirely, man. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there really is I honestly don't think there really is a real Hoyoverse killer. I don't really think there was a real Genshin Impact killer. I think there's I think having competitors, though. I think having some competition. I think Genshin and like Zenless having competition with, you know, Ananta and Ananta and Wuthering Waves respectively. Neverness Everness got NTR. You got NTR? Oh, okay. I think having that competition, though, is good. I think having competition is pretty good, though. So you can't deny that. Top team is NTE and Ananta. Oh, Tower Fantasy is an Neverness Everness. My problem. My apologies. Thank you for clarifying, Eli. So Tower Fantasy. Sorry, same devs as Tower Fantasy did in Neverness to Everness. My bad. This is a Capcom. Did they do anything for? I'm gonna zoom back, see if they did anything for. Okay, so we have stuff for. What's this? Is this a new? Is this another Battle Network? What? Oh, they're doing they're doing the Legacy Collection for Star Force. Okay. Star Force, do we have... Oh, here we go. Here we go. I need to see this. Let's go. Where's my sound? Okay, here we go. All right, let's go back. I want to see this.
Workaholic Director of Siren Holdings Research and Development Department. Grace Hill is nothing but a cover story. Crimson Viper. My code name. Stay out of my business.
She looks good. Viper looks good.
Could you just, like, give up now? I have other work to do.
I'm kind of mixed on the VA, though. I'm kind of mixed on the voice work. It's just a performance. Damn.
This will hurt.
Like I said, I really dig her design.
A B+ for effort. Let's rock.
Of course, you brought the classic. Of course, we got the classic outfit. Yeah, she looks good. Nice. Oh, here we go. Okay, that was dope. That was cool. Cool.
Admit, you're not that bad. Even though my makeup.
That super was cool, though. Yeah, the VA kind of... Yeah, I agree. The VA kind of... Yeah, it's like kind of phoned in. It's like it could have been little more stronger. It's good. Though.
Also known as Miss Perfect, Sea Viper made her debut in Street Fighter 4. She's an operative belonging to a certain intelligence organization and is equipped with secret spy gadgets that can burn or shock her targets. She overwhelms her opponents with an offense that incorporates her high jump. Sea Viper is scheduled for release on October 15th. Ahead of her anticipated release, players can get their hands on Sea Viper for the very first time at Capcom's booth at Tokyo Game Show 2025.
Nice.
We hope to see you there.
She looks good. She looks good. I ain't gonna lie. She looks good. Oh, we got more stuff.
Banshee's Last Cry, the genre-defining visual novel, is celebrating its 30th anniversary. To celebrate the occasion, we're launching a special collaboration. A brand new scenario will be available in World Tour mode. This collaboration will be released alongside Sea Viper, and it will be a free edition for all players to enjoy. During the collaboration period, the Battle Hub will receive a special makeover. Exclusive collab-themed items will also be free to all players who log in during this period. Expect thrills and chills in this exciting collaboration.
Huh.
Now, we'd like to share new info about Outfit 4. Zangief will be receiving Outfit 4 alongside the release of Sea Viper. That's right, Zangief's going full mecha. Mech Zangief, who appeared in previous titles, is making his return. Wreck your opponents with a body of pure steel. And to commemorate the release of this special outfit, we're teaming up with the popular metal band Cavalera Conspiracy. Be sure to look forward to further updates about their original track in the future. Lastly, we have one last announcement related to Street Fighter 6. We are currently running a sale. You can get the digital version of Street Fighter 6 for 50% off. It's a great time to jump in for players that haven't picked up the game yet. Join us as the fight continues. Thank you for your continued support.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Capcom Esports proudly presents the official tournament for Street Fighter 6. First up, let's talk about Street.
So there was some issue with Street Fighter 6. I don't know if we want to go back into it though. And it looks like they just wrapped it up. Yeah, it looks like they just wrapped it up. Yeah, it looks like they just wrapped it up. Yep, yeah, they just wrapped it up. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah, I just saw that they did the Tokyo Game Show is going on right now, so we'll probably see some more announcements. But no, today is Whoa! What? Hold on. Hold on. What?
You're going to Zion after all?
That's right. I'm not sure what to pack in my luggage. I'm afraid I'm struggling. This is all new to me.
Take it slow. No need to rush. So, you brought me all the way here. What for?
Hey, relax. I'm just the messenger. Take this.
What? This is a terminal. This device is locked with a quantum passcode. What do you expect me to do with it?
You're asking the wrong person, Angel. I was just told to give you that terminal in secret. Good luck then.
Hey!
Wait, so it has something to do with that thing? check. Hold on, I need to check. I need to check something.
Looks a little sloppy. It should be useful in understanding a secret.
Oh no, at MacBook. Oh yeah, it's starting to download. Okay, so we got a new update for Stellar Blade. Okay, so we got a new update. I'm hoping I'm hoping it doesn't pull a Cyberpunk where it interferes with all my mods, but I'm gonna definitely check out the update. So there's a new update. Yeah, it's a new update. So yeah, they were teasing something. They were teasing something here. So what might have to cover? We might cover that today. We might cover that today. Still on 2. I'm on 2.31, so I'm already on new 2.31. All the mods work now in the new update. So, but no, hopefully Stellar Blade doesn't pull a Cyberpunk where the mods don't work. They actually do work. Hopefully the mods do work this time. Hopefully the mods still work after this new update. Oh. I might have to call in sick today. I might want to take a mental health day today.
But
huh. Huh, I might have to take a mental health day today. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Should I call sick today? Just for we could do a special state of play. We could do a special peak gaming later. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. I'm just looking at this. I'm looking at this. What is this whole thing? Oh! Are you serious? Okay. You know what? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it. You know what? I'm gonna do it. You know what? I'm gonna back off. All right, I'm gonna call it here, guys. I'm gonna see you guys later for I'm gonna see you guys later. We're gonna do a peak gaming. I'm gonna call in today. We're gonna do a peak gaming later today. We're gonna do a peak gaming later today. Yeah, we're gonna play hooky today. Okay, I'm playing hooky today. Man, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. Also, I need to see this. This is a great job.
Darling, come with me.
Yes, they brought
I planned the perfect date just for us.
Break, which is crazy. They brought English PAs back for snow break.
Get ready for a game of volleyball on the water. Dropping the ball is not part of my plan. Catch it, darling. Here comes the ball. And me. My new hairstyle is pretty handy, right?
Not bad, though. It's not bad. Really?
Darling, that was intense. Come relax in the bath with me. I've got another perfect idea.
They keep peeking.
We'll share a drink, have a water fight, then it's back to darling. Not fair. I'm getting serious this time, darling. I messed up our date, didn't I? Sorry. Darling. Turns out, this really is the perfect date.
The euphemisms are crazy. It's
With you, even accidents turn romantic.
This is
like the warm waves. We melt together.
Okay. You know what? We're gonna play hooky today. We'll play hooky today. So I will see you guys. We'll play hooky today. I will see you guys back here on. I will see you guys back here for Peak Gaming later this afternoon. So we got a lot to go over. And we're gonna watch the Sony State of Play live. We'll watch the Sony State of Play live. So maybe at around 1 p.m. We'll go over. We'll do the updates and shit like that, or maybe around 12:30 or so. We can hang out. We'll watch the State of Play live together on my channel on the channel. I know everybody's gonna be streaming the State of Play, but you figured, why the hell? Why not? Plus, if they are going to show off Wolverine, that is going to be an endless stream of. That's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. Anyway, guys, smack the like button, make it jiggle. Smack the subscribe button, make it jiggle. Thanks to all channel members. It's freaking amazing, and all the good stuff. Follow me on New Ground State Shop, Twitter, links down below. So I will see you guys later today. Don't tell anybody that I'm playing hooky. But I will see you all later today. I'm Makini, and you are serving no story. Thank you for tuning in to Makini in the morning. Until then, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, take care of myself. Never apologize for wanting attractive women in your media, especially in video games. Say no to censorship. Be good to each other. Be excellent to each other. Above all else, never stop drawing. Have a great rest of your hump day, guys. I'll see you all later for Peak Gaming at around 12:30, and we will check out the State of Play together and check out the new updates for Stellar Blade and all that good stuff. So anyway, I love y'all. Peace.
Cute, sexy, and fun. And that is definitely the best way to describe our channel members too. We'd like to thank everyone in the CSF Nation for your incredible support. Join the channel for as low as $1 a month to get access to exclusive art drops that Makini drops every 2 months for his channel members. And all your support goes to helping out the channel and helping Makini put out the best content he can for you all to view and you all to enjoy. We appreciate all of your support, and we also appreciate your support as well. CSF Nation for life. Mwah! Gracias. Thank you for tuning in to Makini in the Morning and getting your morning started up on the right foot with us. If you enjoy this program, please smack that like button and make it jiggle. Share the show out to everyone you know. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. Become a channel member for as low as $1 a month if you want to support Makini further, and if you want to help Makini reach his 4K subscriber goal, hit that subscribe button. You'll definitely will not regret it. I am Mary Salatelli, producer and weather girl for this very program, and we all want to wish you a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe out there. We will see you all next time here on Makini in the Morning. Mwah! Oh. say it again. Makini in the Morning is filmed before a live studio audience at Makini Studios in Arcadia Village's South Tower, right in the heart of the city. Would you like free tickets to the next Makini in the Morning live show? Of course you do. All you have to do is visit youtube.com/Makini90 or call 765-9077 toll free. We want to pass up on free tickets. For written transcripts, please send $5 to Lucky Negro Transcripts at P.O. Box 425, Palmetto Valley, CSF Nation. Makini in the Morning is produced by Silver Nine Productions with Makini Draws Productions in association with Inisa Lockhart Television and Makira Banks Entertainment, and is distributed by CSF Nation Domestic Television Distribution.